Pitch, preview. Okay, I'm gonna log out to the.
Now it's on.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Now just mute. If you click on it now,
Yeah.
you can mute it.
It's not.
نحمد ونصلي على رسول الكريم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'm very grateful to Darul Ilm for giving me this opportunity to do this presentation. And to present here in front of you. I'm a student at Darul Ilm, studying my last year, inshallah. Darul Ilm, uh, Darul Ilm provides many different type of courses, which gives you a bigger picture of what Islam is. The following story, which I will be presenting today, inshallah, is about the people of the ditch. People of the ditch. So people of the ditch were the people known as Ashabul Ukhdud. They were known as Ashabul Ukhdud, and they're the people who are mentioned in Surah Al-Buruj of the Holy Quran. It is about people who were thrown into a ditch and set afire due to their belief in Allah. So in the light of the Holy Quran, So, in the light of the Holy Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, cursed were the people of the ditch, fire fed with fuel, when they sat by it, and they witnessed what they were doing against the believers, and they had no fault except that they believed in Allah, the Almighty, worthy of all praise, to whom belongs the dominion of the heavens and earth, and Allah witnesses over everything. The story. Okay, so the story is that the following story of the ditch is about a king, magician, a boy, and a monk. It is narrated by many scholars, but it has been debated of when it had taken place. However, there is a trace of a hadith talking of this story, as Suhaib, may Allah be pleased with him, reported that Rasulullah ﷺ said, there once lived a king who had a magician. Due to the magician's old age, he came to the king pleading he needed a young boy so he could teach him magic. So the king decided to hire a boy. While the boy was on his way, he came across a monk. He saw that the monk was giving a talk to a group of people. The boy decided to join the gathering too, because he liked it. Obviously, he liked the way the monk was speaking and the things that he was talking about. So the boy was really amazed and listened to the monk and what he had to say. It started to become a usual thing. Every time he would visit the magician, he would first join the company of the monk, and then obviously he would go to the magician. The young boy once came late to the magician because of staying with the monk, and the magician beat him up, making the boy to complain to the monk. The monk said to the boy, okay, next time if you get late, make the excuse that your family member got you late, and if you get late getting home you get late, then you can make the excuse of the magician kept you behind. So continuing with the story, soon after, the boy came across a beast which was blocking the pathway. So the boy wanted to see who was more honest and superior, the monk or the magician. So what the boy said to Allah was that if the beast would die from the stone, that would mean the monk is more better than the magician. Soon later, the boy witnessed that the beast died from getting hit by a stone that he threw at him. Obviously, he said it with the name of Allah, and then he hit the stone at the beast. So he then after came to the monk and told him about the situation. He was told by the monk that he is in a stage where he will be tested, and in case of anything questioning, he should not mention him, the monk. The boy duas would get accepted every time someone asked him to cure them. Later, he was visited by the company of the king, um, by the companions of the king, as he lost his eyesight and found out how this boy cures people's illnesses. So soon after, the companion came to him with many gifts and said to the boy, if you cure me and restore my eyesight, all these gifts will be yours. He replied, he replied, sorry, in reply, the boy said to the companion, I am not the one to cure, but it is Allah who cures, and I just ask him to cure people. And if you want to be cured, then you must have faith in him, obviously. So in order to be cured, then he needs to have faith in Allah. So I can supplicate for you. So that the companion did exactly what the boy told him to do. It wasn't long till Allah restored the companion's eyesight. The companion came to the king and sat near him. King questioned him about who cured his eyesight. He replied, the companion said, my lord. So the king was in a shock. And then obviously, obviously the king was in a shock, and he said, you have a lord beside me. Like, he was in shock, and he did even say that, you mean me? Did I cure your eyesight? And then obviously the companion was like, no, it's not you, it's me, and my God, it's my God and it's your God as well. Obviously it's not you. So then obviously the king says to him, have you got another lord beside me? The companion was pressurized to the name of the person who made him to believe in Allah. So he ended up telling the king about the boy. The boy was brought in front of the court and was told by the king that I have been hearing you are mastering magic and curing people. The boy said to him, it's not me that cures, it's Allah, the Almighty, who cures people. Who cursed people. The boy was pressurized and questioned who was telling him about Allah. The boy uttered the monk. The monk was soon in front of the king. He was told to turn away from his religion, but the monk refused, resulting in the monk getting cut in half with a saw. Then the companion was brought and told the same thing, to turn away from his religion. He also refused. He then was cut in half by the saw. After the boy was told to turn away from his religion, and the boy refused, the king decided to send him with his companions to a mountain where he will be thrown from the mountain. If he didn't turn away from his religion, then they reached the mountain. If he didn't obviously turn from his religion, then he would have been thrown by the mountain. So when they reached the mountain, the boy made a dua that, Ya Allah, protect me anyway and save me. Allah listened to the boy's dua. So the mountain shook, making the soldiers of the king to fall off from the mountain, and Allah saved the boy, obviously. So the boy came to the king, and the king asked, where are my soldiers? So the boy said, Allah saved me from them. And soon later, the boy was handed over again to the soldiers, and his time, obviously, and this time he was taken to a middle of an ocean so they could drown him. And when they reached the middle of the ocean, the boy made dua and asked Allah to save him. Allah listened to his dua, and he flipped the boat over, resulting in the death of the soldiers, allowing the boy to come back to the king. And the king asked, where are my soldiers? The boy replied, Allah saved me from them. He then said that you can't kill me until you don't do what I tell you to do. The king asked, and what is that? The boy said, gather people from the kingdom to a plain land and hand me from a tree branch. Okay, then get an arrow and say, in the name of Allah, the Almighty, the King of the world, through this you'll be able to kill me. Subhanallah, like he's giving his own idea of how to kill him, but obviously trying to show people that Allah is the actual Allah, not a human being. So then after, the king agreed and was taken to a plain land and hanged, while people watched and set off the arrow by saying, in the name of Allah, the Almighty and the King of the worlds. The arrow hit the boy, which resulted in his death. And in amazement, the people of the kingdom said, "We believe in the Lord of this boy." Repeatedly, the king was then visited by soldiers and was told how Allah did what you wanted to stop. The king became angry and ordered for a ditch to be dug out and set up on fire. The king said, whoever doesn't turn away from their religion will be thrown into the ditch. And everyone refused to turn away from their religion until a mother came with a child and was hesitating because of her child. So miraculously, the child spoke out and said, "Oh mother, ensure this pain as it is the truth." Obviously, the child was like, trying to say to the mom that, "Oh mom, do not worry. Obviously, like Allah has something much better for us. This world is not a real thing. It's just a temporary world. Allah will surely reward us in replace of this world if we sacrifice ourselves for Allah's sake." So obviously, after that mother and that child did sacrifice themselves. Okay, so coming to the conclusion, to the outcome of this story, is that obviously, no matter what we do, where we are, what we're going through, we should always have a faith in Allah. We should always believe in Allah, that no matter what the circumstances are maybe, and if we ask Allah for our needs and we have a clear intention, Allah will always help us. Such as this coronavirus that's going around so badly, so rapidly around the entire world. A lot of people are saying this is so scary, and this is obviously, as we know, that it is a sign from Allah, and it can be in a way of a punishment on the people. Maybe it's Allah knows best, but as we know that if we have faith in Allah and we believe in Allah, we know that through our faith in Allah, our iman, if our iman is stronger, inshallah, Allah will save us from every calamity, from every hardship, inshallah. So obviously, the main thing is to keep steadfast on your iman, to believe in Allah, all right, to have a clear intention. You do anything, you help with other people, you sometimes we get people when they help other people, what they do is that they say that we are helping other people, but their intentions are not very clear. The intention, they're just doing it to show off to people, they're just doing it to make the other person happy. But nowadays people, they're not even thinking that we're supposed to be doing all of these things for the sake of Allah. If Allah is happy with us, then obviously other people are going to be happy with us as well. So I will end my presentation over here, inshallah, with saying that inshallah, may Allah give us the strength, and may Allah keep steadfast, keep us on the path of Islam. And inshallah, I will just leave it here. Jazakallah so much for listening and attending the presentation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.